I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Collective Shout begs for money against quote-unquote enemies in further push to censor problematic games. Just yesterday we talked about this. We're strong, independent women who are being oppressed because we're such weak women, and these big boys are attacking me. And now give us money. And here we are.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're once again talking about censorship-related concerns in regards to Collective Shout and the payment processors they're attempting to put pressure on to get various games banned. Now, as always with these types of videos, make sure your view counts by being an engaged viewer. That's the new system on YouTube. You can ensure that by liking, commenting, or subscribing on this video. It will not only help get the message out there, but also make sure that your view counts. Now, we're looking once again at...
I've seen a lot of people leave comments on our videos saying, comment for engagement, comment to push us further. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And it actually does make a huge difference. It genuinely does help.
Collective Shout. And we were wondering the other day, what's their next move? They said they're planning something. They're trying to do something to enhance their message. Well, apparently that new thing is playing the ultimate victim. They are not...
Yeah, this part we already talked about and reacted to, like them saying like, oh, this is Gamergate all over again. It's like, from which trenches did you dig up this? Like, who told you this is a good idea that pretend like this is anything to do with Gamergate or even close to what happened to her during the quote-unquote Gamergate? Whoever told you that, I'm sorry, they're not your friend. They are literally setting you up to be a laughingstock.
They're now calling their experience Gamergate on steroids. They are going full oppression Olympics here. They are trying to make themselves out to be martyrs, and as we will see later in this video, they're now asking for handouts. They're asking you for money while they go around trying to get all of your favorite games banned. I mean, the audacity of these people is insane. Now, of course, we've been talking about Collective Shout a lot. It is a group of feminists out of Australia who had a very successful strategy the last couple of weeks where they go after payment processors and say, hey, ban this problematic content by saying to the payment processors, remove your services from Steam or itch.io.
Yeah, well, Visa and MasterCard, they're like, oh, they're just ruining our brand. That's why we don't want to support it.
Yeah.
My guy, what brand are you talking about? No one even thinks about you. You really think someone is like buying, let's say someone is buying like a new anime mouse pad, right? Do you really think someone will buy that mouse pad? Honk it, being like, oh yeah, brought to you by Visa, honk, 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 honk. No one's thinking about you that way. No one's really thinking about... The only time anyone's thinking about you is when someone like when you're filling out the freaking shit and you have to pick Visa or MasterCard. Other than that, no one gives a damn.
And it's worked. It's gotten thousands of games banned. And of course, with these payment processors, as you can see, their morals are very, very inconsistent. But the sort of targeting of payment processors in order to get third-party systems to ban certain content is something that might not work anymore, at least in the United States. And again, we'll talk about that a little later in the video. Now, before we get into everything, Smash JT shared a group of leaked images. Apparently, they're going around on Collective Shout's page and going through their email list and sending out these messages, mainly looking for cash. They're looking for donations because apparently they're not getting enough, and now because they're being bombarded by all these hateful gamers, they need more cash. Now let's look at some of these screenshots here. Addressed, we cannot let our enemies win. Yes, it's not their credit.
I mean, two can play that game, right? They're pushing this BS. We're gonna do the same thing. Guys, if you like the content creators making sure and pushing this topic and these conversation and these videos and streams and reacts and posts, if you like content creators who keep on talking about it, please go support them. Support us, support Rev, support Savvy, support Smash, every single content creator you know. talking about this, who's covering this, go support them.
Critics, it's not people with different opinions. They're calling all these people who go against them their enemies. So if you disagree with what they're doing, you are their enemy. If it wasn't clear enough already, I mean, they're literally trying to basically play the moral authority and ban games that they have a personal issue with. But anyways, they say this: Dear Blank, over the last 2 weeks, we have been subjected to the largest coordinated cyber attack in Collective Shout's 15-year history. Our team has been hit with a daily barrage of vile abuse and harassment. We've been bombarded with threats. Our images have been morphed into adult content. We have been doxxed. Haters have circulated our photos and tried to find our home addresses. As always, notice with these sorts of claims, especially when it comes to the threats, they have no receipts to back up anything. They're just saying this and hoping you'll just accept them at face value. But they continue on saying,
I'm not gonna diminish them going through a horrible stuff, but I will say, using internet in general, people are gonna do some disgusting stuff with your likeness. Even before I became a content creator, even before I became a VTuber, I already had people putting my face through deepfakes and trying to sell graphic content as if it's me on Fansly. Sadly, very sadly, it's kind of inescapable, but it definitely becomes a reality if you are in such a public light, because there are crazy people online. And when you become a figure online, it becomes inescapable of psychos going after you. Am I supporting psychotic people photoshopping other people into like graphic things, or trying to dox them, or sending them threats? Absolutely, I do not support that behavior. But reality is, people who actually do go into this behavior, they don't care about games either. They just want to be slimy little disgusting weasels. And when it comes to this, them being like, oh, you see, gamers are disgusting, they're doing these things to us. First of all, that's not people who actually play games. Because people who actually play games, they'll have a life, go to work, and the only free time they have, they'll spend playing games. That's one. Two, you decided to step into the internet, there are psychotic people, this shit is gonna happen. As much as it sucks, and it sucks. They need to stop trying to play the victim.
10 petitions were launched against us, full of false accusations. We got to up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers right there. Only 10 petitions. We got to get more. And then they say Elon Musk retweeted one of them. There are currently hundreds of YouTube videos
Is that what they're trying to sell as online harassment? Someone retweeted their tweet? That's how. Oh, wait, actually, no. That's literally what they tried to do. They did say the harassment they're facing is because Elon Musk retweeted something. If that's a harassment you're facing, like Crimea River.
Slandering us. What caused this vicious pylon? Now, of course, when they say YouTube videos slandering us, they mean people criticizing them, right? They can't actually name anything that's slandering them. They just think anything that goes against their narrative is slander or threats. And again, keep this in mind. They consider Elon Musk.
Or maybe they consider slander when I was talking in the video how, oh, she writes about how a man picked over her because that's literally your only top selling book. Who knows? Apparently that's slander.
Musk retweeting one of these petitions as a threat. They thought that put their physical safety at risk because he dared to repost a petition. But here's another screenshot, again, referring to you, really just gamers in general, as their enemies. Our enemies are trying to destroy our operating systems. They've gone after our global allies, charitable partners, ambassadors, and other backers. They've tried to get social media platforms to shut us down, but we won't let them.
What?
Your text.
Okay, I didn't see a single person going after them in this matter of fact. I haven't seen people go after the charitable partner. There were the only time I've seen people bring up what they're involved with is to point out the hypocrisy and the reasoning why they're doing that. I haven't seen them actually going after them. Only be like, by the way, this is what they're part of. Like an FYI side note.
Right.
As for social media, no one's asking you to shut down your social media. You shut down your own social media because you couldn't handle the criticism. They have a victim complex. They do. They have a heavy victim complex.
Deductible gift today, Will. Of course. That's where it goes next. The ultimate grifts, ladies and gentlemen. People love throwing that word around basically to mean
Yeah, your tax deductible gift today.
anyone who thinks differently than me. But yeah, this is really the grifts, okay? They pick a fight. They get criticism and backlash. They kick the hornet's nest, so to speak. And now they're playing the victim. And now they're asking for money. This is a completely self-created situation. And now
I think I'm developing like an actual allergy of someone stepping into shit and then playing the victim of stepping into shit. Every week, there's a person, a company, a developer, like every week, there's someone who's like, oh, you're dog shit. Guys, help me, protect me. He called me dog shit because I called him dog shit. Can we get a break here?
they're trying to financially profit from it. They pick the fight, they start losing, and then they start begging for money. It's absolutely insane. It's so transparent what they're doing here. But this is a screenshot of their system here. They want you to donate right here, and they make it so easy for you. All you got to do is literally just click these numbers, including $1,000. Yeah, they have that one all pre-set up for you. You can go right to it, click that 1,000, and give them $1,000, a band, if you will, to do what? To take away your video games because they're moral busybodies who want to control what other people can consume. It's absolutely insane. And you can see what this tax-deductible gift will do. It'll help protect their cyber systems from malicious attacks, help keep our online...
The fact that they're like right away calling it your tax deductible gift. Did they register it under like a charity or something? Since like in US, if you give money to a charitable organization like let's say what Iron Mouse did, right? The whole immunodeficiency foundation. If you donate there, you can use that as a tax deductible because it's for a charitable situation and for a charitable thing. But I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot just use it as a tax deductible in US if you just send it to any Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah, especially if it's Australian.
I don't know about the Australian part.
Collective Shout is Australian,
I
ain't it?
know.
online space is free of women haters and trolls, of course, because it can't be the fact that people are criticizing you because of the value of what you're saying. No. It's because they're women haters and trolls. They also say, help us collate briefs of evidence for police, e-safety, and our lawyers. Help uphold our freedoms and rights to continue speaking out. Send a message that we will not be defeated. With your support, we know we will overcome.
Hold up. They're trying to impose themselves into everyone else's freedom, but people are supposed to give them money to protect their freedom of diminishing freedom of random people who are just minding their own goddamn business. Okay. That's like the same level of a headache as a girl explaining to a guy that she cheated on him just because he wasn't paying enough attention to her.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Amazing stuff from them. And I find this one really interesting right here about how they're trying to get evidence together for the police. That's part of what you're paying for, apparently. Well, as we'll see in a bit, they can't even get the police to respond because they're giving the police nothing that is actionable. And I guarantee they're just basically showing them, these people are being mean to us online. Do something. Come on, the states, arrest these people for having wrongthink. But anyways, yesterday we looked at this post by Coralie and also Melinda, two members of Collective Shout,
Mm-hmm.
and they said they're strategizing their next takedown. Very aggressive language,
But hey, we're supposed to feel bad for them and protect them and give them our money. Well, they're posting selfies, smiling, saying we're planning what to take down next. I'm sorry, but after the backlash they got of taking down games people are enjoying, posting a smiling selfie with saying they're planning what to take down next. That kind of does come off like you're kind of being of a cunt.
labeling people as their enemies. They're not doing protective moves. They're doing takedowns. They're going to take down your video games. Now, of course,
Yeah, like the language they pick for this and the image they pick for this is very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Coralie has been getting a lot of her tweets dredged up, including this one from 2015 that's an absolute banger.
Okay.
So it says
I'm
this.
ready for this.
Many of these games also involve misogyny and the over-sexualization and objectification of women.
Uh-huh.
Female characters are often depicted as weak. They wear revealing clothes or appear naked and are cast.
Now I know. I know what Coralie was trying to do. She wanted to be like her Oshi Anita Sarkeesian, but no one paid attention to her in 2015. That's what happened. She's regurgitating the same shit Anita Sarkeesian was saying in 2015. She pulled off the Oshi my Oshi. So then yeah, there you go.
Cast as negative figures such as prostitutes. Wow, that's not very progressive to say. Anyways, they say some games even encourage the exploitation and abuse of women to unlock rewards and boost players' abilities. Yeah, we better call the police. These poor victims over here. Oh, wait, they're not real. We're talking about video game characters. Like, are we serious? Is this the best Collective Shout has? This moral manipulation? But, of course, you have the other person in this dynamic duo, Melinda, who's a staunch defender of cuties. Well, they recently made this article that is just Collective Shout in a nutshell. They are trying so bad to be the victims in this situation. Like I said, they picked a fight.
What Jason is saying, they're going to ban beaches next. The last time I went to the beach, most of the women were scantily dressed, and there were men carrying the heavy stuff. Soon we'll be banned from washing our own hands because how dare we make our hands all soapy and lewd and naked
Yeah.
while exposing our wrists? Oh, the horse.
Fight, they effed around, and now they're finding out, and now they're playing the role of the victim. And you can see the title here, Gamergate on Steroids. Abuse of small all-woman team at Collective Shout documented by online hates. Yeah, this is really interesting because they're considering themselves even harder than Gamergate. They think they're going through more than what Gamergate was, which is pretty insane because they've been doing this for like a week. It's been like a week or two of backlash, and they're already saying that this is Gamergate on steroids. Can you imagine?
I'm just thinking, who was the big megamind brainiac who was like, hey guys, gamers are already mad right now over DEI, so like, how about we just start poking the bear even more when everything is already so tense and censor them on top of that? Who was the big brain of that operation and idea? Everyone who plays games is already pissed.
Oh yeah.
Wanting to play the victim so badly in a fight that you started. Now, looking at the article, it's all about them, right? You can see the question here. How has this impacted you? And here's one of the members of Collective Shout saying, it's completely overwhelming. Attempting to moderate comments, block, delete, report, or report to authorities takes so much time. It is also relentless with no end in sight. It's really difficult to set appropriate boundaries with screen time and step away or take any time off because the abuse doesn't stop. Every morning, I wake early with a sense of dread. What new disaster has happened overnight? There's also fear. I fear for my safety, for the safety of my children, and for all my colleagues. I fear for our mental health. It's
I didn't even know you have children. And I'm pretty sure most people are a single person who knew she even had children because we don't give a damn. We don't give a damn about you. We don't give a damn about your kids. The only thing we think about is we just went through DEI arc and we went through these triple and quadra A companies delivering absolute spaghetti dog shit games that are barely runnable with their Unreal Engine dick sucking. And now the only solace we had were the lesser known games and the indie games. And now you're going after those. The only solace we had. Really?
not easy being on the receiving end of a sustained, targeted campaign of hate. Wow, it's a coordinated, sustained, and targeted campaign of hates. Definitely not just, criticism, but anyways, they continue on saying, it's frustrating to see lies and misinformation being spread about our team and our work and have no way to respond or defend ourselves. I'm also feeling a sense of hopelessness and despair. Go to therapy or something. Like, why are you letting this all out to the public? Anyways, they say, importantly, when I went to the police, I was sent away with a cyber safety pamphlet. eSafety responds that most of our reports are not actionable. Social media platforms rarely remove anything, and if they do, it's after the damage has been done. That's interesting because in their little tax-deductible donation they're looking for, they say one of the things is bringing evidence to the police, but it sounds like the police don't want to help them because there's nothing actionable. So it's kind of misleading to include that in these sort of rewards of donating to Collective Shout. But
you know what? I actually do hope they went and tried to file a report with their local police in Australia and be like, hey, officer, Tin Man 69 eater told me that I'm a shithead. Won't you do anything about it? He's all the way in US.
But anyways, continues on saying, feels like there are no real protections for women and girls online, and I worry this abuse towards us will have a chilling effect on women speaking out more generally because they know not only what potentially awaits them, but they are also seeing, just as our abusers are, that there are no consequences for perpetuators of abuse. This level of abuse directed towards women who speak out against men's violence and abuse of women shows exactly why our work is necessary. Now,
Okay, I would call myself the average vagina wearer, right? And I am saying what they're trying to pull is bullshit. So this is not a man telling you you're wrong. This is a vagina wearer telling you shut the hell up.
all this sounds fine and dandy until you realize they're exaggerating everything, they're making things up, they're making claims with no evidence, and also that they're blaming this all on men. It's all men, and all these poor women out there, they're going to have this terrible impression of how they're going to be treated if they speak out against whatever. But the reality is there's a ton of women speaking out against Collective Shout, and they don't want to recognize them. They don't matter. In fact, we've seen them label women as men. They show the tweets coming from female ran accounts, and they're calling them men.
Like Savvy, they full on calling her a man. It's like the wildest thing.
Because they can't accept the idea, the notion that a woman could ever disagree with their campaign. But let's continue on. Later in that same article, there's an additional analysis where they show this tweet. So it says, in an otherwise sensible Reddit discussion of proposed internet ID laws in Australia linked to this tweet containing disinformation about one of their members. You can see there's censorship here, right, of the profile and also the name. It's Melinda. They're talking about, and the tweet says, The Guardian has covered the Collective Shout shenanigans, but Melinda was appointed to the Stakeholder Advisory Board for the government's age assurance technology. She will be part of the body that decides how censorship is enacted. This woman is anti-abortion, anti-vax, anti-expression, anti-woman. She wants to ban adverts, bakeries from
Wait, how can you be anti-abortion, anti-vax, anti-expression, anti-woman all at the same time? I mean, look, I mean, like, it tracks, right? It tracks. But, like, how do you, like, spawn in a game and, like, you put charisma minus 100 and you put intelligence minus 100? Like, how do you manage that role?
cheeky jokes, shun any company raising money for breast cancer, wrong lies about video games being marketed to kids, wants Detroit become human banned, but defends cuties. And this is really funny because they censor all this out to hide who it is. And you know why they're hiding who it is? It's because it's a woman. It's Madame Savvy. Probably one of the biggest people going after Collective Shout. They really made a bad move by being dismissive and rude of her. And yeah, the reason they're censoring her is because, well, again, she is a woman who's disagreeing.
So Savvy is one of the few women they even responded to, right? She's one of the few ones they even responded to. And even then they're trying to make her, like, they keep calling her a man. The Karen is collecting gym badges, okay?
With their narrative, who's calling them out, and it just doesn't line up with the perception they're trying to give the public that it's only these angry male gamers that have an issue with what they're doing. And when a woman dares to have wrongthink in their minds.
Wait, John is saying misgendering is illegal in Australia. What? Never heard of that.
Well, they have to censor it because it goes against their narrative. Now, of course, she would mock this by saying, ha ha ha, you had to cover
We already talked about this part yesterday.
my face because you can't show a woman is disagreeing with you. Yeah, and again, she was actually the one who was labeled as a man in reference to one of her tweets back a couple weeks ago, which, again, very interesting stuff, but there's more to look at here. So apparently Riot Games, now we're moving a little bit beyond Collective Shout, but the strategy of going after the payment processors and putting pressure on them to enact your goals is something
It says Riot Games accused of blocking MasterCard discourse in chat. As MasterCard deals with other backlash, the payment processor and Riot Games are now accused of actively suppressing negative posts during the esports event. Every single day I found something new about the Riot Games that absolutely breaks my heart. Wow, okay.
That is being hidden by Riot Games. Apparently, they are shutting down any discourse about these topics, about these payment processors, which is a very strange thing for Riot to be doing. But with this strategy, like I said, it might be coming to an end, at least in the United States. So President Trump signed an executive order to combat unconstitutional payment processor censorship. And basically what this is trying to do, it's trying to prevent companies from just straight up saying, no, we can't work with you. These payment processors can't just say, you go against our brand, like we've seen in their rules.
Okay, but like in reality, they'll still continue pushing the censorship. Like, I love that there's effort being made. Same as when there was effort made with DEI, where they outlawed doing DEI hiring practices. But in reality, did it change anything? Like, quite frankly, did it change anything?
Not much.
Because I don't think pushing this bill is gonna change censorship attempts like to 100% degree.
They have very open-ended rules about their brand protection, and that this thing that you're trying to buy through them might harm their reputation as a payment processor, which is really, really stupid. And I think it's just a way to basically enforce your morals onto other people and to say, hey, you can't play this game. You can't purchase that thing. It might be legal, but we don't approve of it. It's hurting our brand. Well, apparently that is what this executive order is supposed to be shutting down, which really takes away all of the sting of Collective Shout and these payment processors. It pretty much disrupts everything they're doing and what they've been able to do to have success with their movement. But hopefully this starts to bring things down, and hopefully this spreads to other countries who come up with similar rules. But it's a long way to go. There's a lot to do here. But for now, that's going to do it on this latest update involving collective shouts. As always, feel free to.
I do wonder how long will this last? Like, how long will all of this last? Up until at least collective shout will tuck their tail and run. Maybe I'm becoming like a bit too much of a pessimist, but I think it's gonna be a while, and them completely tucking their tail and leaving is gonna be like a Hail Mary. Possibly another month. I think it's gonna be a lot longer.
Yeah, we fly high. Check it. Spread my wings high, reach the sky. Feathers in the wind, never asking why. I'm a bird, motherfucker, I'm a bird. Soaring high, yeah, that's the word. Flying free like you never heard.